Hello there. This is GNS103 Information Literacy. I am Mrs. Omanibo Angela Israel, the facilitator for the course. We'll be considering study session 3 today, serial publication. We'll be looking at unit 3, section 1 of it, which is the overview of serial publication. I want to see what serials are about. Now, serial publications are printed or digital materials released in a sequential and regular manner. Serials are also known as periodicals or magazines, and they are published at fixed intervals, such as daily. They can be published daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or even annually. They cover a wide range of topics and interests, catering to the different readerships and providing up to date information and entertainment. With the advent of digital technology, many serial publications have embraced online platforms and digital formats. This has expanded accessibility, allowing readers to access content from anywhere at any time. Digital serials often offer interactive features and multimedia content and archival capabilities. Serials are peculiar information materials because they have the potential to bear very current information. This characteristic determines the frequency at which they are published. However, there are other factors that influence the production of serials, which shall be discussed in this lesson. Apart from the physical format, serials also come in electronic form. And the benefits and the disadvantages of electronic serials will also be seen in this lesson. So we've said what a serial is, but let us look at serials again, as a definition, as a word defined. A serial is defined as any publication that is issued in successive parts, which are intended to be continued indefinitely. That's the general definition of information. It's a material that is issued in successive parts. After this one, then this one. It's almost systematic and it's intended to continue. Take for instance your newspaper. Newspaper now we know when a newspaper can be we can know when the newspaper starts. But when that newspaper will stop or when they will stop publishing that newspaper, we may never know because it's expected to continue indefinitely. Now, serials are publications with distinctive titles that are published periodically at regular intervals and are different information. They are very different from books. Okay, they can be in any format that either print or electronic, as long as they can continue indefinitely. Serials can be defined as publications in any medium issued in successive parts. Said that okay, and they should have numerical or chronological designation, and they should continue from now to tomorrow, and just like that, like that. Serials include newspapers, magazines, newsletters, journals, abstracts, reports proceedings, transactions of societies, and so on and so forth. Now, types of serial publication. Serials can be classified as periodicals and non-periodicals. A periodical is as a serial has a specific title and frequency of issue, but a non-periodical is also a serial but does not have a regular frequency. That is not published at regular period, which means that it can be published irregularly. So examples of periodical, they can be journals, newspapers, magazines. Example of a non-serial, yearbooks, monographic series. Those ones, it is not regular. We can have one now and then have one after 1 year, just like that. So serials can be classified based on the frequency of publications. Serials can be classified based on the, as we said, can be daily, can be weekly, can be monthly, can be quarterly, as the case may be. Now, serials, especially journals, that is one most students use, especially in an academic library like our own. Okay, we have print journals and we have electronic journals. Print journals are those that are available in hard copies and they can be accessed without any device. Okay, while electronic journals, which we call e-journals, they are those that have to be accessed using electronic devices such as our phones and computers. Okay, now subscription-based serials, what are they? They are journals that you have to pay for before you can access them. That's why they are subscription based. You subscribe to them before you can have access to them, before you can use them. This is done mostly by well recognized established publishers, okay, who have articles, of high standards, and they want people to pay a fee before they can access these journals at their disposal. So it's good that we know what subscription-based serials are. Now, examples of serials publications, we have magazines. They contain articles written by different authors on general or specific topics based on targeted audience, organized by an editor. A magazine can be published weekly or monthly and are available on newsstands, on bookstores, and in some cases, they are subscribed to. Newspapers, they are serials that contain news, regular columns, advertisements, editorial comments, local and foreign interests, and they are published daily or weekly to meet the needs of the general public. Okay. Now, journals, they are compilations of scholarly articles written by different authors based on research findings, and they are submitted for publication. The articles submitted are reviewed by editors, and they could undergo what we call peer review to ensure that the aims and the quality of the journals are achieved. So a journal usually has an editorial committee that oversees the quality of the journal. The frequency of the journal can be monthly, can be quarterly, can be two times in a year, or can even be once in a year. We have conference proceedings too. Examples of serial publications. They are compilations of papers presented by different authors at a conference, okay, and after which these papers are compiled and sometimes sold. Newsletters, they are series that contain news, current information, and announcements to individuals in specific professions with common interests. So newsletters are sent to members of an organization or an association as part of their membership, okay, and are not readily available to non-members. That's why they are newsletters. Indexes, they are guides to contents of documents or collections of documents with the same formats arranged in a searchable order, such as alphabetical, classified, chronological, or numerical. There's an index at the that we have indexes at at the back of a well-published book. But we have some books that don't have indexes, and that's not good enough. But the well-published book should have an index. Okay, and we also have indexes for journals. And we have abstracts, they are short summaries of journal articles. They are journal articles of books or even chapters of books, and they provide information about the intellectual contents of that publication. Okay, that's for abstract. So the length of an abstract depends on the type of document and the purpose for which it was specified, especially by the editor of that publication. Almanacs are a compilation of dates, of facts, statistics, and they indicate information about important events, about festivals, about meetings, or special holidays, and are usually arranged in tables. Almanacs could be general or specific, and of course, they may be related to a particular discipline or organization. Gazette, this is a government publication that contains current events, legal decisions, public appointments, and they are published on regular basis. Yearbooks are annual publications that contain information such as historical or memorial of facts, photographs, and statistics about events that took place in the preceding year of an institution, profession, or country. Yearbooks can be general or they can be subject based. We have reports and memos. Reports are publications that are collected over a period of time, and it could be on the progress of an organization or on a particular situation or occurrence based on fact finding. Examples include annual reports, progress reports, committee reports. A memorandum, usually referred to as a memo, is a letter that is written and distributed internally within an organization to one or more people, and it has a header stating the logo of the organization. It also shows the date that that memo was sent, who was the person sending it, and who is to receive it. You find that in the memo. Then we have what we call transactions of societies. These are publications that contain the duties and activities performed by a society or an association. Also, an example of a serial. Now, what are the characteristics of serial publications? They are regular. They are regular. They are published regularly. They continue whether the editors are sacked or they retire or they change jobs. As long as that serial has the resources to keep being published, it has to continue. It continues. Okay. Then we have updates and timeliness. That's another characteristic of serials. They are expected to give you updated information in a particular subject area. We have different contents. That's another characteristic. Varied contents or different kinds of contents in serial publications because they can talk about so many subjects on different kinds of subjects. Okay, serials cater to a wide range of interests from general topics to specific subjects. Now, serials have targeted audiences. Okay, they have people that they're expected to serve. So we have some people that will go for them. newspapers for everybody. We have magazines for sports. You know who actually will buy them or read them. Scientific journals. We know who would read them or who would patronize them. So they usually have targeted audiences. Now there's archiving and indexing. Serial publications are commonly archived and indexed for easy access and retrieval. Libraries, databases, and online platforms maintain records of past issues, making it very convenient for researchers anytime they come around to want to locate them. Now, they are subscription based, though not all, but it's also a characteristic of serials. They are subscription based, I've already explained that. Now, credibility and peer review. Most of the time, serials have to be reviewed by a set of experts in a particular field and has to be certified as being what authentic so that people can rely on the information in these serials or in these publications. Now, codes used in serial publication, we have ISSN. I mentioned that earlier when I was talking about um, the National Library and one of its functions that it issues ISSN, International Standard Serial Number. So it's a unique identifier assigned to a serial publication. We have issue number as well. Then we have volume number. We have DOI, Digital Object Identifier. We're talking about particular codes used in serial publications. Then we have call numbers. Now, call numbers are used in library systems to classify and locate serial publications on the shelf so that we'll know where they belong. Usually, these call numbers are alphanumeric codes that follow a specific classification system depending on the one that is used. For instance, I told you in footer, we use Library of Congress classification scheme, and they help users to locate these serials in the shelves. We have barcodes. They are used to track and manage physical copies of serial publications, and they contain encoded information about the publication. Okay, we have subject headings and we have code and corporate codes of journals. Okay, then these codes and identifiers I've just mentioned, they play a very strong role in organizing, in assessing and managing serial publications. They ensure consistency, they ensure accuracy and efficient retrieval of information both in physical and digital formats. It serves also as essential tools for cataloging, for indexing, and locating serial publications in libraries, okay, in databases and other information resources. They ensure efficient management and access to serials and facilitate the organization of these publications based on the subject, on the format, and other relevant criteria. This ends this unit that we just finished. This is study session 3, unit 3. Thank you very much for listening.